I'm Tony Lazzara from the Office of Quality and Performance. I'm here to briefly talk to you about the student feedback on units, SFU, and student feedback on teaching, the SFT, which are inputs to your promotions application. Both are a really important mechanism for students to provide their feedback and a way of ensuring that we're listening to them is for you to show in your application for promotion that you've taken on board the feedback that you've received through those two mechanisms and taken some action. Both, just as an intro, both are shown as percentage board agreement, strongly agree, neutral responses for each of the items, and it has been determined by the university that the standard we're looking for is 80% broad agreement or better. So in reports that you get for the SFU and SFT, there will be a line shown, and I have an example of an SFT report later to show you, and I can flick through that very quickly. So in terms of the student feedback on units, I understand that is actually provided by HR, but if you want to go and have a look at it yourself, you can actually go into the dashboard and go and explore, and it gives you an opportunity to dig into it. The dashboard provides you with an individual report for your unit, and it shows things like response rate, the performance on the quantitative terms, and the verbatim text comments. The comments there are pretty much as the student wrote them. The only things we do is take out teachers' names where they're shown, and we take out most, I understand, of any of the foul language. I don't know that we pick up everything. There is a program we use, but we also eyeball it and we try to get rid of most of it. The student feedback on teaching are distributed as confidential PDF reports only to you for yours. Whether you use those in your application or not is entirely up to you, and the reports themselves are not made available to anybody other than yourself. Much like the SFU report, it talks about response rate, the spread of responses for the quantitative items, a mean score, but it also has, you're asked to rate yourself against each score, and it actually shows how the student responses compare to your own rating. And it has, again, verbatim text comments with some editing, as I mentioned before. But this is what the report, if you've already received one, report looks like, and if you haven't, you can request from the survey's email address and they will send it to you. It goes through each of the questions. That first column with figures in it is your rating. The second one is the mean and the percentage broad agree. And then we have the scale, how your responses have been distributed for each of those questions. And if you look closely, there is a line for the standard that we expect people to exceed. There's some research in this space. I come from another university that had the same sorts of issues. We encourage you as the teachers for the SFT to mention it at your classes. Mention that it's out and that you would encourage them to provide their feedback. This is one of their main mechanisms for feedback, and stress the fact that it is taken seriously and it is confidential. I should have also mentioned, and thank you for reminding me, SFT reports are not produced in two circumstances. One, if the number of responses is less than 5. So if only 5 or if only 4 of your students have responded, you're not going to get an SFT report. And it won't be produced if you're not in the timetable. So the survey instrument doesn't know that you're a teacher in that unit. So if you want the SFT, you need to also make sure that you're in the timetabling system in Syllabus Plus, listed against that unit as a teacher.